Hello, everyone. Kathy Bacon here for What's Your Story Radio. So great to see everyone tonight. I'm so excited to be here like every week. Tonight, I have a very special guest who I've known for a very long time, and I will tell you a little bit about her in a minute. I am in Graham, Washington at this time. I know that everyone always wants to know where I am because I travel around, even in Washington State. I go from place to place, house to house, family member to family member. And tonight I'm at my daughter's. And so she lives in Graham, Washington, very close to Mount Rainier. So if you know about Mount Rainier, if I look out the window and go walk down the street a little ways, I can see Mount Rainier clear as a bell. And it's so beautiful today in Seattle. It was about 75 and just a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm really happy that the weather is holding out for us in fall because, as you know, in Seattle, it rains quite a bit. But we've been very lucky this summer and very lucky this fall so far to have just absolutely gorgeous weather. I want to thank you all for your emails and writing and letting me know how much you like the guests that I have on. I appreciate it so much. I'm passionate about what I do. I love creating that human connection with others. And so any guests you see, I can guarantee you can find out their information on my website at www.kathybacon.com. I put information about them. You will actually be able to see this interview there. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is What's Your Story Radio. And I would love it if you could subscribe and just check out all the amazing guests that I have. Some people I know, some people I don't. And I just know that everyone that is on this show is amazing, and they have connected with me over the years, which has made me very happy. And so if you feel a connection with them, you have the ability to get a hold of them and talk with them about what they're doing. Maybe you could be part of it. So thank you very much again for being here. Tonight, my guest is Maggie Burns. And I've known Maggie Burns, I would say for at least, 12 to 15 years when I lived in Denver, Colorado. She was a very, very major player in the fashion industry there. She's done amazing work. And she has a bridal couture business, and it's called Margot Bridal Couture. And it is the realization of Maggie Burns' lifelong dream of designing elegant, bespoke bridal and evening gowns. The simple truth is that Maggie believes every woman deserves the luxury of a made-to-measure gown for that special occasion when she really wants to communicate her personal style. Each gown is designed specifically for the customer out of the finest fabrics and laces with particular attention to fit. A native Coloradan, Maggie left her corporate job and founded Margot Bridal Couture in Littleton, Colorado. Maggie has a BA from the University of Northern Colorado and an executive MBA from Colorado State University. She's a member of Fashion Group International. In her spare time, she loves to travel, hike, bike, reading, and spending time with her family. She is the winner of a 303 Magazine DFW Best Designer Award in 2016 and 2017, and was awarded the 2011 Fashion Group International Bridal Rising Star Award. And if you don't live in Denver, Colorado, this is a big deal. This is a big You can learn more about Margot Bridal Couture by clicking on her website link, which will be on my website. And that link is www.mariemargot.com. And you can email her at info@mariemargot.com or by phone. And she's giving you her phone number at 303-748-3562. And I will give you that information again. And again, if you cannot watch this interview tonight and you don't hear that information, you can get it on my website at www.kathybacon.com. So without further ado, I would absolutely love to introduce you to Maggie Burns, a very, very amazing woman, and I'm so glad to see you. I can't even begin to tell you. My heart just feels so good seeing you.
Oh, Kathy, it is such an honor to be here, and it's such a pleasure to see you. You've been in Denver, and then you went traveling afar, and so now you're back, and the world is a better place when you're back here.
So sweet. The world's a better place when you create wedding gowns that women prance around town in. For God's sake, they're absolutely gorgeous. So tell us, who is Maggie Burns?
Well, I was born, I'm a native Coloradoan, and I grew up in a rural area in western Colorado, and I always had fashion in the back of my mind, and there were 9 children in my family, so you can imagine with 4 girls that my mother would do a lot of sewing, and she was such a creative, and she was such an amazing artist. So we always had the cutest clothes, and we always had the most beautiful prom dresses. And then she went on to make our wedding gowns as we got into that stage of our lives. So, you know, creating is kind of in my DNA, and it's always been uppermost for me.
Yes, I know. That's so awesome. I mean, I remember my mom sewing a little bit too, but I never picked it up like you did. I never picked it up. I mean, I could never get my foot and my hand to coordinate. And so I was always, and when I watch you sew, and I've seen you at your place, it's just like it's second nature to you, you know, it's all just second nature. And it's really a wonderful thing that you create like you do. And thank you, Mother. Right?
Yes, absolutely. I owe her my career, definitely.
Yeah.
But
it's so wonderful. And the thing about it is too, is that you were in the corporate world for a while.
Yes.
And then you left the corporate world and started designing, but you weren't in your 20s.
No. Well, as soon as I graduated college, I kept having friends and family. The minute they knew that I knew how to sew, they would say, "Oh, Maggie, could you just whip me up a wedding dress?" And so I did that all the time while I was in my corporate world. And I was always fighting the left brain, right brain thing. And finally, the left brain won out, or the right brain won out, and it became a point of I had hesitated, and I had made up excuses as to why it wouldn't work to be in my own business for, you know, all of those years that I was in the corporate world. And then finally I looked in the mirror and I said, "Maggie, you're not getting any younger." So I decided to go ahead and take the plunge, and I haven't looked back. It's certainly, it's been gratifying.
Well, it's nice to see though someone, you know, like for me, when I think of you, I think of it's never too late, because, you know, you waited to live out what you were meant to do after the age of 50. And so many of us think we can't do that after the age of 50. We can't do anything but what we're doing, and we stay and we stay and we stay. But you didn't do that. You took a chance, and oh my gosh.
Well, you know, sometimes life will bring you to a point where you can't not do what you have to do. And it just became apparent that if I were going to do what I wanted to, then I just had to, because in 5 years, I was going to be 5 years older anyway, and I might as well be doing what I love. So that was kind of my decision.
Right. I just think that's awesome. Tell us about Marie Margot, your brand.
Well, I started Marie Margot, and the name came about as a little bit of a French twist on my given name, and that is Mary Margaret. But, you know, Marie Margot sounds a little more couture, so that's how that came about. But I have met some of the most wonderful people throughout my career so far, and I am very dedicated to making the process of designing and constructing a gown for my clients be a wonderful experience for them. And it's very luxurious. We're just not used to going into a place and giving up our measurements, and then all of a sudden we have a beautiful gown. It's such a personal process, and the one of the things that I love most about my business plan is that I develop relationships with each of my clients, and I just have such fond memories, and it's it's kind of a difficult thing when they come and pick up the dress, because that's kind of ending that part of our relationship. And, it's never going to be the same, but it's always going to be a wonderful memory for me, at least. And I hope it's the same for them.
Oh, that's so amazing. I know it must be very hard, like you said, to create this beautiful gown, and then you work with them and you work with them and you have this relationship with them, and then all of a sudden they pick up the dress and they're gone.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my God, that would be so difficult, because you are someone that builds relationships with people, and they are lasting relationships. I mean, I've had a lasting relationship with you for as long as I've known you, and I don't ever think that's ever going to go away, So,
no.
And I didn't even have a gown made, for goodness sake.
Yet.
Yeah. You talk my husband into that 30-year marriage again or something.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because I have to say, I never had a wedding. It was like go to Australia, dress in this little thing, and then get married. It wasn't anything like I ever imagined it. So I'm not going to say never say never.
Well, just hold that thought.
I'm going to. So tell me about what's some of the biggest challenges about your business? Because I can imagine I'm trying to take this radio show to a business level, and so I've already been learning things. Wow, I didn't know I should be doing.
Right. Well, one of the biggest challenges for me is actually there's two. One is doing the business side of the business, because that is so boring, in a way. It's that's the important thing. And I absolutely love to create. And so to do the business side is very difficult. It's something that I have to really discipline myself to do. And furthermore, to keep on track with my plan. So that's a challenge. Then the next challenge, doing a business like mine from Denver, is the sourcing of fabrics and competing with the outsourced factories. So it's a big challenge.
I bet. And just trying to keep up with, I mean, for me, it's keeping up with the marketing, too.
Absolutely.
You are. And getting into all those wonderful fashion shows that you get into, because there's quite a few in Denver, and just being able to be recognized, right? I mean, that must be kind of difficult too, but now we have social media, and I'm sure that's helpful. Right?
Well, yes, absolutely. I've been so honored to be invited to a lot of fashion shows in Denver, and it's been just such a pleasure working with the creatives in the industry and the young models and the hair and makeup people, the show producers, the musicians. All of those people are just amazing, and being able to work with people who are doing the exact thing they love. They wouldn't be there if they didn't love doing what they're doing. And it's such a wonderful community. I feel so close to so many of the people that I've met through this industry, and I just love them all.
Yeah, I know. It's really wonderful. I've always felt at home in that community, and I just always loved what everyone was doing and the opportunities that were always, I mean, I'm sure it's even gotten better now. And I know that you're going to be going to Arizona for.
Yes. Yes,
So
I'm
tell us
actually.
about that. That's exciting. Wow.
Well, I'm so privileged and so honored to be able to show my work at the Phoenix Fashion Week. The Fashion Week starts October 5 through 7, and my particular runway will be on October 7. So it's just an amazing experience. The producer of the show runs a 3-month boot camp prior to the actual fashion week. And it's all about building the fashion business and connecting fashion designers with the fashion buyers. And I just have learned so much, and there's so much yet to learn. So it's been an amazing experience so far, and I'm nervous, and I'm, hopeful, and I'm excited, and I'm insecure, and all of those things that you experience before you go to a big, to me this is a big deal.
It is
So
a big
I'm
deal
really,
because you're
yes,
getting known out of Colorado,
exactly.
and you're getting in other cities and states. I mean, that is a big deal.
Definitely. There's the show is held at the Talking Stick Resort, which is one of the primary resorts in Phoenix. Yes. And they expect something like 6,000 people to be going through the resort through that fashion week. And not only are they presenting runway shows, but they're also making workshops available to people who are maybe not only interested in the fashion industry, but you can gain something. Case in point would be a gentleman named Ron Case is going to be presenting a workshop, and he's one of the founders of Constant Contact. So,
oh, wow.
So his expertise in, social media and, marketing, it goes outside the fashion world. So it's not just, pinpointed like that. And I'm just beyond thrilled to be able to participate.
It's so great too, because I think when people finally recognize that people that are creative don't know about those things, because that's not what's fun to do. They like to create. So when you add that on to the picture and allow them to have that opportunity to learn, that is so wonderful. I mean, really, he's way ahead of the ball game, because for so long, people that are creatives are not very good business people because they don't know what to do. And they always have someone working for them to do that part of the business, or, they're constantly trying to learn and then create. It's so much to do.
Well, and that's absolutely true. And so many people that trust others to do all your business part for you, you can kind of run into problems. So you have to kind of know what you're doing so that you hire the right team to do what's in your best interest as a business. So it's just vital. And this experience has been priceless for me. So I'm so excited.
Well, and I'm sure you have a great team that's always anxious to work with you. You're one of the easiest people I know to be around and work with. I mean, so I'm sure that you've attracted the best people to help you, because I've just been, as I was looking to have you come on, I was looking at some of the articles that were written about you and the interns that you had, and the really beautiful picture that I used with you on the runway with one of your models holding up their hand like this. And it just warmed my heart to see it, because on the sides of the stage it said Maggie Burns, and I'm like, wow.
Yes, I was. Yes, that was at last year's 303 Denver Fashion Weekend show. It was just a spectacular show.
Yes, they do a great job of putting on a show, and they do a great job of supporting the fashion designers in Denver. They really,
absolutely.
Really they are phenomenal. I'm so glad they're still around, and so glad they're still supporting. What would you tell someone over 50? We kind of talked about this. Business, because I gotta say, Maggie, many people will go to my YouTube channel and they'll see that heading and they'll click on it because they're going to go, wow, to start a business after 50 is a big deal. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. It's kind of scary, and you're competing with the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings and the 20-somethings, and sometimes they were born with a cell phone in their hand, so that's their advantage. But I just keep thinking that over the years I've learned something too, and I've learned some things that they have yet to learn. And I just feel so deep in my soul that everybody is put on this earth to do something. And you may not be able to do it right away, or you may not figure out what that is until later in life. But once you figure it out and then it's kind of your responsibility to go out and do it. And I can't see myself doing anything else right now, because it's the job that I wake up to every day, and I can't see myself going to work. It's just not there. So it's scary. It's really scary, but you sort of come up with a plan and you work your plan, even if you don't like to work the plan. But, and there are some rough spots along the way. But I just feel like if you don't do it when you're in your last breath, that's going to be your one regret, is that, oh gosh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah. And there's so many times I think, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. And then I think in my mind, but if I don't try, I'll never know if I could. And that's an important thing for us, right? To know that we tried it, we did it, and we were successful.
Well, yeah, and if you don't try, then you're not going to be successful for sure. So that's a total failure. Yeah, and I've tried many things in my business, and some of them haven't worked out so well. But somebody said that it's a good thing to fail up. Because every time you fail, you know how not to do something, and you go on and try to do something, do it right the next time. Right. But being over 50, I find that I have over the years I've developed a network of people who support me 100%, and they I believe have a certain respect for me, right, because I'm out there hitting the dust every day. Right. And there's something so valuable to that, because having a community of people to support you and call upon you is just vital.
Yeah, it totally is. And you do. Not only do you have a good group of people that follow you, but the thing I always loved about your business, Maggie, is that you weren't just at fashion shows. I remember I came to this little afternoon, and it was at a hotel. And you had some models there that were showing the lingerie, and
yes.
Because not only do you do wedding gowns, but you were doing lingerie at that time. I'm not sure if you're still doing lingerie, but it was just so lovely. It was just like this little meet and greet where there was probably maybe 25 to 30 people there, and there was something to eat, and there was talking with others that were in the in the fashion industry. It was just really a very interesting thing that you did there, and you're constantly doing things like that. It's not just a fashion show. You're bringing people together, and you're always so gracious and so thankful to people. And that's really amazing.
I am very thankful that, people in my circle really do support me, and there's nothing, no money can replace that, definitely. And I do recall that particular event. It was just kind of a get together, a client appreciation time, and I've kind of put the lingerie on a back burner because I'm, really focusing on getting my bridal business going. And I'm in the process of taking the bridal business to the next step, which is to have gowns produced that I can sell through boutiques. And so that's taking a lot of energy and a lot of focus. So I'm sort of putting, the lingerie is a very nice complement to the bridal industry.
Lovely.
And it's so much fun. But I'm just kind of putting it on hold for a moment. But it'll be back.
But when your one business takes off, you have to focus on that.
Right.
What you're focusing on at this point, and I agree with you 100%, you have to focus on that because it is going to the next level. You're going out of the city to another city. And it's going up from here. That's what I see anyway. I can't imagine it doing anything but that, Maggie.
Well, every day I just give gratitude, and I pray that things will work out the way they're supposed to. And so far, I've been very lucky.
You have. You've been so lucky. And it just gives me inspiration too, to know that, in my own life, if I think about trying something new, you're the second person I've had on the show that's, one lady, she did 50 things after she turned 50 new things in that year. And
wow.
50 started a beautiful fashion bridal couture business. And so, it's a lot different than it used to be. We have the ability as entrepreneurs to try things and do things and excel and not work for someone 30 or 40 years at a corporate business.
Right.
Do that now, when you can do what you're doing. It's just,
it's wonderful. And there are so many resources available, through the internet and through the small business development corporations in everybody's, they're associated with the Small Business Association. And there's just so much help that, you can call upon. So there are so many meetup groups and, just the people So there's really no reason for people not to get out and do what they want to do.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's if you were to leave a footprint about your business, what would that be? What kind of footprint would Maggie Burns leave?
Well, my biggest motivating factor is that I want to leave the world in happiness. I just feel like I'm participating in a little way in someone else's happiness in their life, and to be a small part of the day that they are wedding their soulmate is just so gratifying. And if I can make 100 people happy, then in turn maybe they'll make 100 people happy. And it can be contagious, I hear.
It can be. I'm all about it. I think it is contagious. I love that whole paying it forward kindness thing that is contagious. And when you create a gown, because I can't think of anything more special to a woman than a gown on her wedding day.
Exactly.
I guess the next thing would be having a baby, but the first thing is that wedding gown when you get married.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It is. And that's why there's so much anxiety and, the whole gamut of emotions that go around getting married. But I'm kind of focused on the happy part.
Yeah, I know. It's so great. And if you just come on and you just tuned in, I want you to know that I'm talking to Maggie Burns, and she is the owner of Marie Margot Bridal Couture. You can look at her website at www.mariemargot.com, and that's MarieMargot.com. And you can email her at info@mariemargot.com. And she gives her phone number, which please only call if you're happy about getting married and want a gown, right? 303-748-3562, and we'll give you again before we leave. So I just, we only want happy people calling, right?
Right. No grumpy pants allowed.
No grumpy pants. No grumpy pants. You don't serve grumpy pants. No way. That's the way it is. So tell me, what are you most proud of in your business thus far?
Ooh, that's a big one. I'm most proud that I've been able to hang on for, these few years. It's always a challenge to start a new business, and it seems like I keep finding a way to hang in, and that's why it's so important for me to take my business to the next level. That I'm ready for it, and it's taken a while to get to the point where I now know what I didn't know, and I know that I still don't know everything, and I'll get there. But at least I've gone through a lot of the learning curve, because fashion is a big business, and bridal gowns are a big business. So there's quite a learning curve to go through that, and I feel like I'm in a good place right now.
But you've also made gowns for the red carpet.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've made a couple of gowns that appeared on the red carpet for a couple that live here in Boulder. And the first year, it was the gentleman, his name was Daniel Youngie, was nominated for the best short documentary. And then in 2012, he was nominated again, and he actually won the award. And so I got to dress his wife, Erin Breeze, for both times, and it was such an amazing experience.
Wow, I know. That's really wonderful. And to have your work, I mean, you won several awards. It's not like you do these shows and you're just one of the many. You won quite a few awards as well.
Well, I've been very proud of that, because I'm competing with all of the young designers and all of the designers in town, and I just feel like it's just so heartwarming to me that to be recognized as right in there. I'm competing with all the best of them, and it's just very heartwarming.
It is. It's wonderful. You've won awards from 303 magazine in 2016 and 2017. You were awarded the 2011 Fashion Group International Bridal Star Award. You've made gowns for the red carpet, like we talked about. I mean, you're not only making gowns for brides, but you're making gowns for all these fabulous fashion shows to where you've won awards. And I know you're not going to talk it up like I am, but I'm going to talk it up. I'm so humble about it. But like this whole movie production, that you made a gown for the wife. I mean, that's a big deal. It's a big deal when you live in a town like Denver, Colorado. You're not in New York.
Well,
So
I was so surprised when I realized that she wanted to go on the real red carpet. I thought it was just some kind of a local party, celebrating the Oscars, but I found out that she was, really there. And both she and her husband do amazing work. The the movie that he won the award for was documenting the acid, what do they call it? Acid violence, in Pakistan. And it just was a heart-wrenching story, but he did such a good job of it. And, he really deserved that award. So again, I was, just on the edge of that. And it was just very amazing. So,
well, I'm looking on Facebook Live on my radio page, and I am seeing Chrissy Hodges. Hodges is saying, hello, my beautiful friends. Hello, Chrissy. Thank you so much for joining in and supporting Maggie. I know you and Maggie have been good friends for a very, very long time, and it means a lot that you are watching and listening right now. I can tell you that.
Hi, Chrissy.
Yeah, so that's so nice that you joined in to listen, Chrissy. I really, really appreciate it. It's people like you that make it all possible, make it all worthwhile for the guest and the host. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely.
Really, I love you to death, and I'm so glad to see you. Hi, love y'all. That just sounds like so anyway, but I have to say that your bridal couture business is really about it's about pleasing the bride, but it's also about extending yourself to something more, like the red carpet.
Right.
That's what you did. You're not only a bridal designer, you are a gown designer as well. So
right. I mean, it's so difficult to be approached for an amazing project like that and say, oh no, I can't do that because I only design bridal gowns.
Yes.
That would be hard.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
telling a child not to touch the candy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it was a gorgeous dress. I didn't see it. I tried to find it online, but I didn't see it. I'm sure it's somewhere on one of the publications. I know it is. I didn't see it, but I'm sure it's gorgeous.
Well, they were beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was fabulous. So, have you had any discouraging experiences in your business? It sounds like we're making it sound all wonderful because it has been. There's so many wonderful things that outweigh the discouragements. But have you had discouragements, and what were they, and how did you kind of overcome those and just keep going?
Well, of course, everybody has discouragements, and you wouldn't, it is unrealistic to just paint this rosy picture. I've had a couple of brides that have been difficult to work with, and it has been, to me, it's an emotional thing because I do get so involved with my brides, and so it is very upsetting to at some point then have to push back and say, well, it's only business, and these things happen in business. So those things have happened. And then in a business like mine, the cash flow is not as consistent as you would like all the time. So, there's the bill collectors on the, that knock on the door, and just trying to keep afloat is, it can be very discouraging, but, that's just the nature of the beast.
And you have a community that loves you and trusts you. And I think, I can imagine how in that business, because you're really virtually working alone, how you can feel alone, like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I have to say it's people like Chrissy that have saved me. I mean, she totally has saved me at different times, and she's been such an amazing friend. And I find that, that's just the way we are here in this community in Denver that I'm involved with. So
Right.
it's been so lovely.
Right, right. Yeah, especially in those times when, like we all have that little voice that says, you can't do this. You can't do it.
Right.
You can do this. You
Hmm.
can't do it. And
Yeah.
it's shutting that voice off at times too, isn't it? That tries to get you off track when you know you're on,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Well, I have to work very diligently to keep negativity out of I do this thing about no negativity. No, no. And sometimes it's a very conscious effort to
right,
recognize that you're thinking negatively and
right,
try to figure out how to turn it around so that you're not making that negative thing actually come true. And
right.
so,
Yeah,
you know, uh, especially being a sole proprietor,
yeah,
it's very hard to not have anybody to bounce ideas off of and to, just air out the difficulties. So it's hard.
yeah. And it's good to hear you say that because we all kind of go through that in our lives. I don't care whose story you're listening to.
Hmm.
We all go through that time where we don't think that we're good enough or we don't think that we can
Right.
do it or we hear that naysaying voice that says you can't do it and then we listen and then we get in a slump and then when in actuality when we really keep our head to that positive times that we have and know that we can do it and look at those experiences that we do have and build off of those, then we can't go
Right.
wrong, right? Because that's what you've done. You've built off of all your success. And I can't even imagine having you having a bad time, but I know we all get there. I mean, we all get to those discouraging moments and we just have to pick our behinds up and just keep going, you know?
Well, you do. That's the only way around it. Otherwise, you just want to, stay in bed with the covers over your head all day, and that doesn't help anything. It feels really good, though. But, it doesn't push the business forward. But again, it's the people that I work with who are so grateful for all of the things that I do for them that
Yeah.
keep me going.
Yeah, you
It's
do have
just
a great team of people, and you always have good people around you that are supporting you to be better. And
exactly.
that's the kind of people you want. You want people that are going to always inspire you to be better, and because then you step up your game, and you always do, Maggie. You always step up
Well,
your game.
well, thank you for that. One of the reasons I do is because there's so much talent coming
Yeah.
out of the Art Institute and CSU and
Yes.
these, and people who are self-taught. I mean, there's always somebody coming up pushing you, and you've got to really step up your game to stay ahead. So
Right.
I feel like it's wonderful because it does cause you not to get too full of yourself and to take things for granted. So bring it on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Bring it on
Yeah,
because I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, right? And
exactly.
that's another beautiful thing about having a business after 50 because I think, I'm 59 and I don't know that I could be doing this or be doing my teaching that I do. I think when we get older, we're more confident in ourselves and we understand the good, bad, and the ugly, and we're able to take it a little better than we were when we were younger. Because in the
Right.
fashion business, you hear a lot of no's before you hear yes,
Oh boy.
right? And
Yes.
so, having that experience behind you going in after 50 must have really helped that piece.
Well, it does for sure. And just having the worldview of this too shall pass, is a big help as well. And um, you're not so prone to jump into the middle of all the drama that goes on. And,
Right.
that's a big,
It
you've
is.
got to you've got to be careful with that because you can't get into drama and develop your business.
No, you
So,
cannot. And a lot of young people go there because that's who they are, being young. I mean, that's what we do when we're
yes.
young.
Oh,
So
listen, when I was young, I was into drama, so I know all about it.
we all were into drama, especially girls, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
All were into drama. So what do you see for the future for Maggie Burns and Margot Couture?
Well, like I said, I'm going to continue working with my extraordinarily wonderful custom clients, but I'm also developing the production collection, and hopefully that will take off and it will become a real business, not just something to keep me going from month to month. And at some point, I'm going to find someone to leave the business to sell to. I want to build it up to be a business that will take up a life of its own.
Right.
And
maybe you can manage it from afar and have other people working for you, which would be
right.
Really
Yes.
That's a real success then, right? To see your business take off where other people are passionate about doing what you do.
Right.
That's just, wow. To me, that's the best. It's like being able to hand over something that you created from the ground up and watch someone get just as much love and passion from it that you do. That's just
exactly
thing, and then, you're going to Phoenix Fashion Week. But gosh, I mean, that's just the brink of the iceberg. They have fashion weeks everywhere in the country.
They do, yes.
There's one here in Seattle and Bellevue next week, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I was actually very proud that I was invited to participate in that, but it was too close to Phoenix to be able to do it,
Right.
And, there are shows all over, and, this year, the fashion community in Denver has been just so excited because so many of them have been able to participate in New York Fashion Weeks and in Baltimore. And so the Denver fashion community is really growing, which, it helps all of us.
Yes. I'm so happy to hear that. It makes my heart just feel so good because I was so involved in watching everyone grow and change and supporting them and their businesses. And so it's so nice now to see that Denver actually, and the whole Denver creative has grown so much. I mean, they've got this on this week in Denver,
right.
So they've just really they really see that fashion is a viable, creative thing that can attract people to the city.
Exactly. And,
right?
The community has grown so much since I first started, and it's because of so many very dedicated people. We've got some amazing designers here in town, and they just are so very talented, and they're doing a lot of different things that are expanding they're expanding the bubble for everybody. So it's very nice.
I love it. And I think from what I see, more and more designers are working to help each other instead of saying this is mine.
Right.
And I love seeing that because that is the only way that people can grow and get better at what they're doing is to really share your information and give back to each other, because gosh, that makes you 10 times better than anywhere, because we know how, I mean, it can get a little snarky in the fashion world,
Well, it can. And the thing is that, helping other people it comes back to you tenfold, in so many ways. So it's, I just feel that the Denver community is just amazing.
I do too. I love Denver. I will always love Denver. It will always, always have a place in my heart. spent 17 years there, and they were some of the best 17 years I've ever spent in my life, because that community, it was just growing so much, and it was so exciting to see all the people really growing and changing within that fashion and getting better at what they were doing, and groups were starting, and there was so many great things going on. So I'm really, really happy to see that, and I'm so happy. I just saw the Bellevue Fashion Week, and I'm like, I have got to get, I got to get involved. I've got to get involved there. I've got to see what's going on, because boy, oh boy, do I have some designers for you to call.
Yes. Well, and you always contribute so much to those organizations, and you've just been so wonderful here in Denver while you were here. So
I just love all of you, and it, like I said, it was some of the best years of my life being there, because always think you're not creative until you get around creative people, and then you go, well, I think I might have a little flair somewhere in me.
Yes. Exactly. So,
it's so wonderful. I'm just so happy that we had some time together, and that we were able to talk about you and your business, because I can tell you the things you said tonight weren't said 3 years ago. They weren't said 4 years ago. And, and this is what I love about doing this kind of radio, is that I get to look you in the eyes, and I get to see your excitement about what you're doing, and how you're doing it, and how much over the years you've bettered yourself and helped to better that community. It just does my heart good. I can tell you this.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity for, that you're giving us to have our little, voice out there.
Yes, I need more. I was telling someone today, like, I'm having a designer that I knew from Denver come on, and I think Mona's coming on. I told Gino, get your butt on here, buddy. I mean, what are you doing? I want to bring people to you to see who you are, and see how passionate you are about what you do, because that connects me to you.
Yes, and they are both such amazing designers, and they're doing some really interesting things. So I can hardly wait till you have them on.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited. The New Year's coming, and I know that more of them will sign up. It gets busy at this time of year, and and it's okay, because I know they'll be on too, and I know that they will share with me what they've been doing as well. And so we want to find you on the internet, and I'm going to put this on my website, www.kathybacon.com, because I have a little place where I will put this video on, and you can click on it and you can see it. But you can go to www.mariemargot, and that's Margot, just so everyone knows that, .com. And your Facebook page is at Facebook.com. It can go Facebook.com/Marie Margot Bridal Couture, or you can just put in at Marie Margot Bridal Couture, and you'll go right to your page now. I know that it works
exactly
right. And
they make it so easy.
Yeah, it is. It's so easy now. And then Twitter, you have a Twitter feed, and that is at Marie Margot 12.
Correct.
Instagram, which is at Marie Margot Couture. So I'm telling you, if any of you are out there tuning in and you're going to see this video wandering around Facebook for a while, please get a hold of Maggie. Please get a hold of Maggie if you're looking to have a wedding this year, next year, because I can guarantee you, first of all, if you don't live in Denver, you'll love to just go and visit for a few days, and you'll love to hook up with Maggie and just talk with her about what she does, because I know that no one will be disappointed. I just know it.
Oh. Well, that's so sweet. That's so kind.
Well, it's so true. I don't say anything that's not true.
Well, I would love to chat with anybody, and whatever I can share with anybody of anything that I've learned, I'm more than happy. And I would love to work with people who have some specific designs in mind. If they don't have anything in mind, but they want me to help them come up with something, I can do that. They can, use one of my designs, which I would love as well. So I would just love to work with anybody, or not work with them and just get to know them.
Yeah, right. But the ultimate goal is, if you're going to see Maggie, get a dang dress, because I'm telling you, it's going to be exactly what you want. It's going to fit you to perfection. And that's always the beautiful thing, is once you have a dress designer, everything fits perfectly. There's nothing like that, right? I mean,
right.
You can go to any bridal store and you're going to have to nip and tuck all over the place to get it to fit you perfectly. But when you go to a designer like Maggie, it's going to fit, because she's going to do all of that right up front. And yes. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for your success. I'm so happy that you have taken your business to the next level, and you continue to let it grow and change and just be part of our community, the world. It'll be a worldwide community that we live in, and I'm just really, really proud of you. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. You're just such a wonderful hostess, and it's just so nice to see you. You live so far away now, but this is like you're sitting.
I'm going to come visit. I'm going to come visit in October. So believe me, I will be looking you up. I do have to come there and tie up some loose ends. And so I will come to Denver. Denver will always, I have such great friends there, and it will be always a place that I come to. Because it's not very far. It's 2 hours on the plane and I'm there, and it's not right now anyway. So while I'm in the States, I need to be around people that I love, and I need to be around communities that I love, and that's Denver.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
I want to tell everyone, thank you for joining in. If you didn't join in tonight, sometimes it's hard. I get it. Believe me, we're all busy people. You will find this video, this interview, on Maggie's page. It will be on Kathy Bacon What's Your Story page. It will be on my YouTube channel, and it will be on my website, www.kathybacon.com. There's no excuse why you can't watch it. There's no excuse why you can't know who Maggie Burns is, or call for that wedding that's coming up. So thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Maggie Burns. You're amazing.
Well, thank you, Kathy. This has been such a pleasure, and the time has gone by so fast, and I really appreciate it. So this is just lovely. This is a wonderful thing you're doing.
You will come back in a year, and you will be telling us about what you're doing, and you'll be telling us about all the different fashion weeks you've been going to, and I will still be here listening to it, because I'm very excited for you. So
thank you so much.
Thank you all, and I will see you again. I'll see you on Friday when I have another interview. So thank you again for supporting What's Your Story Radio.